Good evening, everyone. Today we honor military men and women who sacrificed their lives for our freedom. Valley News Team's JC Dodd attended the Sunset Memorial Garden ceremony where many paid tributes to fallen soldiers and their families.
Aim!
Remember their freedom that they enjoy today it cost lives.
Those are the words retired Technical Sergeant Russell Stabler of the U.S. Air Force wants Americans to know as the country celebrates Memorial Day.
It's not for barbecues and picnics.
As retired Navy Captain Jerry Rostad put it,
today is our day to say thank you to those who for generations have flipped the bill, to those who have paid so dearly with their lives.
Dozens gathered at Sunset Memorial Garden Cemetery to remember their moms, dads, brothers, and sisters who paid the ultimate sacrifice for America's freedom, many of whom come from the Red River Valley.
There's some really great people that serve in the military, the top of the echelon of our country, and they come from Fargo, and they come from West Fargo and Dilworth.
For many Americans, Memorial Day is a long weekend and a day off of work and school. But Captain Rostad says today is not a day off, but a day on, and our region of the country is doing just that.
This part of the country really respects our military service members. You know, we're red, white, and blue America right here in the heartland.
One man and his wife traveled from Detroit Lakes to visit the gravesites of his parents and grandparents. His dad served in World War II. They say today is a day to remember and honor his father.
Just thinking of all the people, including my husband, missing his family.
Sergeant Stabler wants Americans to remember why we celebrate.
These men and women died so that these things could happen. The true price that was paid for that freedom.
In Fargo, JC Dodd, Valley News Live.
And this ceremony was one of more than 20 that took place today across the Red River Valley. More than 3,100 people paid their respects at the North Dakota Veterans Cemetery during its Memorial Day ceremony. All branches of military received a gun salute. State leaders highlighted the upcoming 20th anniversary of 9/11 and the North Dakotans who fought in the War on Terror, leaving behind family.
Some going overseas for the first time, and some didn't come back. Some didn't come back. They made the ultimate sacrifice, and we honor them here today.
Major General Alan Dorman reflected on how the state overcame the past 14 months and how families are celebrating once again. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz was joined by Senators Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith for a wreath-laying ceremony at Fort Snelling National Cemetery this morning. The Memorial Day tradition to honor Minnesotans who died serving their country resumed after a one-year hiatus due to the pandemic. 1,000 volunteers placed flags near the headstones yesterday. The National Cemetery is now a sea of red, white, and blue.
We're standing out here today. It's just that reminder of what we have in common, and those that, you know, again, there's no politics in this place. There's just patriots, and that's the thing that always moves me.
The flags are expected to be up for a few weeks. Now here's Summer with a first look at your forecast. Summer?
Many people for this Memorial Day were able to enjoy some sunshine and mild temperatures. Here's a look at our high temperatures so far today. 74 in Fargo and Grand Forks, along with Devil's Lake as well. 75 in Carrington and Jamestown. 68 in Thief River Falls. 69 in Baudette. 66 in Foston. 73 down in Wadena. So lots of upper 60s, low 70s for our afternoon. Here's a live look at our Luther Family Ford Skycam network in Fargo. Lots of blue sky, hardly a cloud out there, and that's the case across the majority of the valley. Lots of sunshine, a few more clouds out in Bemidji and northern Minnesota, where there's just a few fair weather cumulus clouds. And you can see some of those out on radar, but they are already starting to dissipate, bringing some clear skies across nearly the entirety of our region. For your evening in Fargo, sunset will be at 9:14 tonight. Temperatures falling from the 70s into the 60s after sunset, and then eventually into the 50s by tomorrow morning. And in Grand Forks, sunset will be at 9:19, a very similar temperature trend, and clouds starting to increase as well. Now, Today is actually, or tomorrow rather, is the first day of meteorological summer. And I accidentally grabbed the wrong graphic here, but you know what? We'll talk about meteorological summer and what it means coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thanks so much, Summer. A Minnesota man will spend 5 years in prison in connection to a shooting in Dilworth. Police responded to the 200 block of 5th Street Northwest back on November 12th at around 7 a.m. They found Christopher Lucier in a stairwell with a gunshot wound to his leg. Police say the shooting appeared to have happened after an argument broke out with 38-year-old Dennis Hackley. The incident sent a nearby school into lockdown. Hackley was originally charged with 3 counts of assault and illegal possession of a firearm, but the assault charges were dismissed. He'll spend the next 5 years in jail with credit for time served. A former Otter Tail County deputy has been sentenced to nearly a year of house arrest for a law enforcement sting last year that ended in a fatal crash. Kelly Backman will be placed on supervised probation for 2 years afterwards and will also have to pay a $1,000 fine. He was originally charged with 4th-degree DWI, but that charge was dropped following a plea deal. Backman refused to provide a blood sample after the crash, but a later test indicated he had fentanyl in his system. A man is dead and a woman is seriously hurt following an ATV crash. It happened around 7 this morning along 345th Avenue Southeast near Foston. The ATV went into a ditch and flipped. The driver was 75-year-old Edward Halverson. He died at the scene. The passenger was 71-year-old Judith Halverson. One man has died and another is facing charges after a crash between a minivan and a sprayer this morning. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says the sprayer was driving north on Highway 1806 when it was rear-ended by a Dodge Caravan. That crash happened around 7:30 this morning, about 3 miles south of Huff, North Dakota. Both vehicles spun out into the ditch. The 71-year-old driver of the sprayer was thrown and died at the scene. The driver of the van was 89-year-old Robert Stanley of Mandan. He was taken to a Bismarck hospital. Charges are pending. A man drowned after jumping out of his boat to save his girlfriend at a lake in southern Minnesota this weekend. Authorities say a woman fell in the water Saturday evening. The two were boating on Crystal Lake, that's just south of Burnsville. 36-year-old Matthew Brust jumped in to help his girlfriend, who was able to climb back in the boat, which then drifted away before Brust went underwater. The Dakota County Sheriff's Office says they recovered his body about 11:30 p.m. on Saturday. Isolation and depression are common problems during the pandemic, especially for injured service members, veterans, and their caregivers. Deborah Alfarone tells us about an American Red Cross program that's helping families get the resources they need.
Melissa Allen's husband Patrick served 2 tours in Iraq. After the first, she noticed something was different. After the second tour, she says everything changed. Now she's her husband's primary caregiver.
The nightmares, the night terrors, the paranoia, the anxiety, the depression, the traumatic brain injury, the memory, I realized I have got to step up into this role and understand what it means that I need to do.
She joined the American Red Cross Military and Veteran Caregiver Network and found resources and support she didn't know was available.
Providing mentors for caregivers who are new to the journey and peer support groups for those to share the journey. And really providing that safe space for caregivers to talk about the challenges and the successes of caregiving.
Director Melissa Como says during the pandemic, these families have experienced increasing isolation. The network has now doubled in size.
We went from running 3 peer support groups a week to running sometimes 7. We have caregiver text-only chats to get peer support. With a text-only format, you can sit right next to your care recipient.
I honestly would have been lost in the pandemic because they were able to connect me with a peer, connect me to resources to help navigate a situation that nobody has been in before.
Melissa encourages other caregivers to reach out for help.
This is a way that you don't have to go at it alone.
She says the program makes her feel like somebody is always by her side.
The network also offers virtual tools for self-care to encourage caregivers to take care of themselves. They usually work together, but this week Fargo Police and Fire are going head-to-head for a good cause. Over the next 2 days, Fargo Fire and Police are competing to get people to donate blood. Every time someone does, it saves up to 3 lives. This donated blood helps accident and burn victims, organ transplants, and treatment for leukemia and cancer. In the U.S., 38% of people are eligible to donate blood, but less than 10% do.
we get afraid, and that's okay. It's okay to be afraid. But I tell you, afterwards, you get through it, and it's just amazing because, you've saved a life right then. You walk out kind of with a little skip in your step.
All blood donors get a Red Cross t-shirt and will be asked to vote for either Fargo Police or Fire. If you pick Fargo Police, you'll get a coupon for Sandy's Donuts. If you pick Fargo Fire, you'll get 6 free wings from Buffalo Wild Wings. The Battle of the Badges is tomorrow and Wednesday from 1 to 7 p.m. It's at the American Red Cross on 12th Street in North Fargo. To make an appointment, go to redcrossblood.org or download the Red Cross Blood Donor app. Next time you go to the lake, you may notice more game wardens patrolling the area. Up next, we'll tell you about the most violations they see in the water.
Out on the water, meteorological summer kicks off tomorrow. The months of June, July, and August. We do these months because it's easier for record keeping, and we definitely have some summer-like heat in the forecast. I'll have your Tuesday hour-by-hour planner and a look at the hot 7-day.